Hello, and this is niallpoints.com. This is the first reaction video, and my name is Neil.
My name is Tomas.
And this is our reactions to the songs from the first semi-final for Melodi Grand Prix at Norwegian's selection show. Quite a few big names in the whole process, and I think we're going to start off with one of them. So I think Thomas was going to give us a bit more information.
Yeah, so I've looked up the names that are going to be competing in the first heat of MGP, and there's actually one very big name in there, which is Margaret Berger is coming back with her song Oblivion. She was obviously the winner of MGP in 2013 and went to Eurovision and did very brilliantly. She came fourth, if I remember well. So I think a lot of fans are going to be super excited that she's coming back, as am I. She was one of my favorites that year.
Me and Thomas have not listened to these songs yet. We've only listened to a bit of Kino. Let's focus now on Margaret Berger. It sounds much better when Thomas says it, let's be honest. So let's give this a listen. It's Margaret Berger with Oblivion.
I feel like it's a little bit more electronic than her 2013 entry, which felt more like a rock song with electronic vibes.
Yeah, a bit more almost like conventional. I'm loving her voice.
Very recognizable voice as well. You can already tell this is going to be one that's going to compete for the win at MGP. She's already such a huge name, and I mean, maybe that's just our opinion, but this is starting off very, very strong for me. I did not actually know that she was coming back, because I only listened to the Kino song because Twitter was going wild when it came out and people were nagging about it as usual, of course. But that's the only name and song that I knew that was going to be in MGP. So I basically just found out that Margaret is coming back like an hour ago. So I was already very excited. Yeah, this is just very, very strong. I love the vibe of the song. There's something about the tone of her voice that sort of just grabs you. Do you know what I mean?
And it's very recognizable as well. Like even if I hadn't known that was Margaret Berger, I would have probably got halfway through and been like,
yeah,
this sounds somewhat recognizable. So I like that there's sort of like a signature sound.
Right. So the next song that we're going to be reacting to is the song Heart on Fire by Myra. Or Mira. I have no idea how to pronounce it. I don't think Neil does either. Do you?
Nope.
No. So let's get into that and listen to that song, see what she has to offer. Sounds late 2000s to me.
I was thinking Disney Channel.
Yeah.
I could imagine some sort of easy to repeat dance routine being created for this.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm imagining? Shireen staging from Eurosong last year. That's what I have in my head right now.
It is very generic. So I know that that's how I feel about it, because I was just thinking, well, she sounds a little bit like Katy Perry, and like, yeah, I think
she does actually. Like thing is, that's why I said late 2000s. This feels very like, Hot and Cold by Katy Perry. It really gives off that vibe. It's memorable though. This is going to be playing back in your head, I think. Oh, we've got a proper key change. Yeah, got a proper key change.
Yeah, this is very late 2000s.
Oh,
I feel like I've gone back in time.
Yeah, this will struggle to make the final. I mean, we still got 4 songs to go through, obviously, but I cannot imagine anything being. I don't want to say worse than this, because it's actually not it's actually not a horrible song or anything. It's quite catchy. Like it's gonna get stuck in your head. But like for all the wrong reasons. This is going to be one of those songs that keeps you up at night and you just hate it.
Okay, so the first song we've got to listen to is Ingrid Jasmine with the song "Ea." So let's see what this sounds like.
I love this ethnic vibe. This is exactly what I come to Eurovision for, to hear this kind of thing.
Yeah, it just sounds like a very solid entry from me. I will say, if this does do well at MGP and makes it to Eurovision, that dance break needs a revamp, because at some points it sounded like a sound effect of a door just slamming. But other than that, I thought production sounded great. I sort of never knew where it was going at any point. It just sort of took you on a little bit of a journey.
There's a nice blend. Like there's sort of different genres being glued together, but it, like, as a whole, it works, I feel like. And as you said, it does take you on a journey, because it just sort of like progresses, and it just sort of like keeps you on your toes. It keeps you interested. You're going to remember this one at the end, because I'm seeing like epic staging with this as well.
Yeah. Well, speaking of memorable, the next song is by Goth Minister. And we've also got an actual music video for this one, so that'll be fun to react to that as well.
The end is near. We come alive. We crawl around your houses. We come alive. We live under your bed. We come alive. And then we will control you. You will be one of us all in. We come alive. We crawl around your houses.
But again, it sounds catchy.
It's not being novelty for the sake of being novelty. Like, it's not.
No.
Like, it's not trying to catch it up. It is just being authentically this genre, and it's actually doing it quite well.
Yeah.
All right, so I will say I got distracted by the actual song and forgot to pay attention to the music video. But I actually didn't dislike that at all in any way. I thought it was pretty solid for a sort of more rock metal vibe. Like, I think it'll be interesting to see how they stage it based on that, because I think bands, particularly rock bands, can face some difficulties when it comes to staging. Look at Lord of the Lost, look at the Rasmus. You know, when you've got a band there, you know, especially when you've got drums or keyboards, you can't move them around. They're not movable around the stage unless you're the Portion Boys. Sometimes it then becomes a little bit static. So to make up for that sort of being stuck in one place and make everything feel very busy. You know, not only do you have the pyro, but you've got this and you've got that. You know, they try and make up for it, and sometimes that takes away from the actual song itself, and that's when you get into that sort of novelty act. This is just a joke. Territory. So I'd be interested to see on Saturday how they stage it.
If they make it too camp, it's going to turn into a joke act, and people are not going to vote for this.
You need that authenticity still. Especially with a song that isn't necessarily mainstream.
Okay, so the next song that we're going to be reacting to is Stranded by Frederik Haaland, and let's see what he has to offer.
I won't be there on the side of that road when you're lost and alone. I won't leave.
Okay.
Well, it's a very pleasant song. But I do have something quite mean to say about it. And see that bit just before the last chorus where just drums on the guitar a couple of times? From that moment on, all I could hear was a busker in the street. Like, it just sounded like someone on the street playing their guitar. Lovely. Yeah. So lovely.
Yeah.
But I just got, it just felt a bit.
I get what you mean. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. That's what I said at some point. Like, it didn't go where I thought it was going to go. because I was thinking like after the first verse and the first chorus, I thought, okay, so we keep having like just the piano, which could be nice. You can have like a song that's just a piano, and it can be very touching. But for me, it was going a little bit too fast paced for that. You know, like the piano was going pretty fast, and I thought, okay, if we're not building this like into something more where we have like more instrumentation coming in, then we need to slow it down and make it more vulnerable, because now it just sounds like a pretty song sung by a pretty boy, but that's just sort of where it rests. It doesn't really doesn't have any highs, it doesn't have any lows, it's very linear. Yeah, there's much better options for Norway. Even in this semifinal, there's already at least 3 options that are much stronger and much better. And if what you said is true, and there's like 3 of the 6 going through to the final, then I can't see this making it.
The last song that we've got to listen to for Heat 1 of Melodi Grand Prix is Woman Show, and this is by Mathilde SPZ featuring Chris Archer and Slam Dunk. Wow, that was a song.
It was something.
I think before we get into it, I think let's just say Mathilde's voice is fine.
She's got a good voice.
Yeah, good voice.
Yeah.
Now let's get into it. Let's get into the rest of it. Now, strongly off, this song shocked me.
They had a DJ set in front of them, and they just saw all these kind of buttons, and they were like, okay, let's see what happens if I press this button, and let's see what happens if I press this button. And they just sort of like implemented all these elements into this one song, which made it so incredibly eclectic. I don't think I've ever heard a song more eclectic than this. I didn't know what was going on half the time. I think at some point I was just sitting there going like,
yeah, but the thing is, so much happened in that song that I can't even tell you what happened to make us go, whoa, what was that? Because there was just so much.
No.
There's just, this song is overload to the millionth degree. Like, it just keeps going. And it's like, how? I don't think I'll be listening to it again.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't think I can actually bear listening to it again. Like, this might actually be my toilet break.
So that's the 6 entries. We know it's going to be good TV. I think I know what 3 I want to go into the final. And
okay,
I'd be quite interested if you're the same.
Let's name them. You go ahead.
So
who's your first qualifier? Who's your number 3? Your number 3.
In my third place, I would put Golf Minister, We Come Alive.
Yeah.
I do think when you're looking at semi-finals, you still want the final to feel varied. So you still want songs in there that are good but different. And I think this is good and different.
Yeah. You need it in a mix, which is also why Golf Minister is also my third place.
But there's 3 that I'm like, oh, I want to see this. I want to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And my second place for that reason is Ingrid Jasmine with Ea. Yeah. I thought, do you agree, or do you have a different second place?
No, I do have the same second place. I have Ingrid as well. Like I said when we were listening to the song, this is the exact type of song that made me fall in love with Eurovision so much. It's just something that you don't really see much coming from Western European countries or Northern countries, Scandies. So it's interesting that they're doing that. I have no idea how the public's going to react to this, if they're going to vote for it. They voted for Alessandra, which was sort of ethnic as well, but in a completely different way. But yeah, this is just right up my street. I love this kind of song. My number 1 is obviously the one and only Margaret Berger. Look, as soon as I saw that she was competing, I was like, okay, this is going to be my number 1. I didn't even have to listen to the song. You know what she brings. You know that, like we said, she's very recognizable. you know, I Feed You My Love is one of the best, if not the best Norwegian entry of like the 2000s, you know, since the year 2000. It's just so good. As soon as I saw that she was coming back, I was like, okay, I know this is going to be good. And she did not disappoint me. But this is definitely competing for the win.
Yeah, and
even without hearing the songs from the next semifinals, this is definitely one that's gonna contend.
Yeah, there's no denying that this is a competitive song when it comes to MGP, and if it was to win MGP Eurovision in itself.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I probably even prefer this one to I Feed You My Love, because
and that's after one listen, so that's quite something to say.
It's really made an impact on me, and I'll tell you why. I Feed You My Love, loved it instantly. Why do I prefer this one? Is because, like I said, it leans much more into what I normally listen to. I don't usually listen to pop rock songs the way that's sort of like, because I Feed You My Love to me was kind of like, it was kind of electronic, it was kind of pop, but it was also very rock. It had that sort of like a metal feel to it. And I feel like this one leans way more into electronic, which is much more my thing. So that's probably why I love this so much, and why I like it even more than I Feed You My Love. So for me, this kind of sounds like a possible Eurovision winner with the right staging, and of course with the right competition, because we have no idea what other countries are going to bring.
But I guess we should wrap it up there. I've got the same number one, and I don't think I can say anything more than you said. There you.
Sorry about that.
No, you got all the points. Great. I think we know who Thomas's favorite is.
So anyway, that is it for our first reaction video about MGP. This was Heat 1. We're going to be doing Heat 2 and 3 as well if you guys want us to. So let us know what you think. Did you like our blog? Should we do this more often or not? And did you agree with our 3 picks for the final, or do you have any other favorites?
And you can let us know. You can let us know on Twitter and Instagram at niallpoints. You can also write comments on niallpoints.com, where all of our other blogs have been. Thank you very much for reading them this week. It's been really exciting to start this journey, and we hope you enjoy it as well. For me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at niallpoints.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I'm_Thomas_W.
And that's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.